Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the team call for August 3rd. I'm so glad you're here and I'm so excited to share with you a little bit about doing an awesome power hour. And I know that maybe this is some kind of easy information for some of us, but I don't know how many of you are like, yay, I'm so excited to work my business. I have a little bit of time, but what should I do? Like, do you ever do that where you sit in front of your computer and you're like, I have some time, but I don't know what exactly I should do? So I actually have 10 steps to make an awesome power hour. And sometimes I'll do a live power hour with my team, but this time I'm just going to give you some tips to do a rocking power hour. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. Okay, so like always, if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself at any time to interrupt. I can't see the chat box, but if you do have something you want to say, jump in at any time because I really want to hear what you have to say. And if you have any tips or pointers to add, they're always welcome. So how to rock an awesome power hour. I think it's important that in this business, it's not about having hours and hours and hours to work your business. It's all about learning how to work your business efficiently and effectively. Because really, you can do your business in an hour or maybe two, depending on what you have going on, and really have a lot of success and still live your life and have the freedom that you want to do. So these are my tips on how to have a rocking power hour. So first of all, do you ever, like I said, sit down to work your business and you're like, well, I really need to do something, but I don't really know what to do. And I have my laptop open and you just sit there and you kind of scroll Facebook. Does that happen to anybody? Because that happens to me all the time where you're like, well, I'm here to do some good work. And then you just kind of waste time because you don't have a set thing to follow. So you aren't very efficient. So it's not really about, my goal is to teach you how to work smarter and not harder, because it's not about putting in hours and hours and hours and hours of work. It's doing the work efficiently and effectively in a shorter period of time, so you can get a lot more done in a short period of time. So you ready to dive in? Feel free to take screenshots if you want, because this is exactly what I do when I'm doing a quick power hour. So first off, step one, you have to get your mind in the game. You have to get focused to hustle and get rid of any distractions. So for me, when I'm about to go work my business, I have 2 websites open and only 2 websites open at a time. I have Facebook open, usually in Messenger, and I actually track my business with Teamzy. If you're not tracking your business on Teamzy, maybe you don't have a website, but maybe you have a piece of paper, or maybe you're tracking with the power of 3. However you're tracking your business, you need to have both open, because if you're not tracking, you're not going to know who to talk to next, where to follow up. Tracking is vital. If you haven't checked out Teamzy, feel free to send me a message. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about it. But Teamzy basically does all my work for me because it tells me who to talk to every single day. It has everything set for me. So I go back and forth between my regular Facebook Messenger page and Teamzy every single day. And the other thing you have to do is you have to eliminate those squirrel moments. So when I'm working my power hour effectively and sending out messages, as messages start to come in and notifications start to come in or things start to come in as I'm sending stuff out, I don't pay any attention to any of that at the time. When I'm doing my power hour, I'm focused on sending out my messages, and I'm not going to get trapped into having conversations with people right then. I'm sending out a mass amount of messages at one time, and my plan is to come back and follow up with people and have those conversations later. Because if you only have an hour to work and you start to get focused on all those messages coming back in, or you see a notification on a team page, or you see this or that, you end up moving around your business and having all these squirrel moments, and then your hour is up and you haven't really accomplished anything. So it's really important to kind of ignore your notifications at that time and be really, 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 really focused on what you're doing so that you can get a lot done in a short period of time. So me personally, I do my power hour earlier in the day, and then as my messages come in from the stuff that I sent out, I check those in the evening one more time, or sometimes even the next day. And I know Kristen posted something really of great value in the team page on Tuesday where she said, you have to remember that you are worth waiting for. So if you get somebody who's messaging you right away, I don't want anybody to be a slave to their notifications, a slave to their phone. The whole point of this business is to make sure that you're getting the freedom that you want. So remember, you are worth waiting for. If somebody's wanting to buy a challenge pack right this minute, they'll be there tomorrow. They'll be there 2 hours from now. If it's the middle of dinner, don't be a slave to your notification. It is okay for people to wait for you for a little bit. It's okay for your challengers to wait for you for a little bit. It's okay for your coaches to wait for you for a little bit, because if your coaches have questions and you're instantly answering questions right away, they are never going to learn to be resourceful on their own. So it's very important that you remember your time is valuable too. You have set business hours, and it's okay to wait until those set business hours to get back to people. Okay, so I'm going to straight for the next 8 steps go through what to do on a power hour. These are the things that I check off when I'm doing my power hour. So the first thing I personally do is I send 3 to 5 new friend requests every single day, sometimes more, because you never know who's going to accept your friend request or not. And I track in Teamzy the people who have accepted my friend requests from the day before. So I send out new friend requests and I go through and see who added me as a friend, and I actually add them to Teamzy. And I rate them as a number 5. If you're not using Teamzy, that's okay. But I like to make sure that I'm adding new friends and I'm tracking it so that I can send new friends a message so I can start to connect with them. And if I don't track it, then they just kind of get lost, and then I don't ever connect with them. And then when I'm looking for people to invite, I don't have anybody in it. I mean, I haven't established a relationship and have a right to invite somebody if I haven't actually had any sort of conversations. A lot of people ask me, well, where do I get new friends to add? How do I connect with new people? I always say try to add people who don't have other coaches as mutual friends, and that can get hard if you have a lot of people in your local area who might be on your team, but there's plenty of people out there. I like to join Facebook groups with interests that are outside of Beachbody. If you're in a fitness group or a running group or something like that, there's probably going to be a ton of other Beachbody coaches. I like to join groups that have nothing to do with fitness whatsoever, but things that I'm interested in, and find people who are into things that I like, because, I love the Seahawks. Well, I can't tell you how many people I've connected with who love the Seahawks, also who need help with their health and fitness. Or for me, I love my golden retriever, so I'm in a couple groups for my golden retriever. I actually have a coach on my team who I connected with from a Facebook group. So you never know who you're going to connect with in a good, authentic way. So another tip is, if you're in those groups, don't just join those groups to actually add a bunch of friends that you don't know. See who you connect with via their posts or that kind of stuff. Have some conversations or comment on their stuff before you send those friend requests. But Facebook groups is a great way to connect with new people. So that's the first thing I do, is send out new friend requests. And many of you are like, well, I don't have a very big market, or I don't like to add people to my network that I don't know. But eventually, if you're in this business for a long time, you are going to run out of a warm market. And the only way that you can continue to grow your business is if you continue to add new people to your network. In fact, just the other day, I got a notification from Facebook when I logged in from my phone that I had added 400 new friends this year since January. So 400 new people from a cold market that I had to add. You have to remember you're running a business. I remember having those thoughts, especially as a new coach. I don't want to add somebody that I don't know. I don't want them to see my posts. But you kind of have to switch that mindset that you are running a business. Adding new friends and connecting with new people is that's how you're going to relate and connect to new customers. Okay. Step 3 in my power hour, I send 3 to 5 messages to new friends. So that list that I'm adding in my Teamzy, my new prospects, I send a message to my new friends. I try to do it as soon as I can, at least within a week or 2 of adding new friends. And I personally have a stock message that I send to new friends that is short and introduces myself and just basically says hello. It just says who I am, what I'm about, and it's very brief. I encourage you to try and write one on your own. If you need an example, I can certainly share mine, but you just have to find something that works well for you and tweak it. If you're sending out messages and you're not getting a response back, tweak what you're sending. I mean, short, just, hey, I'm so-and-so. I thank you for accepting my request. I'm a mom to 3 and I have this and this is what I'm interested. I can't wait to get to know you more. If you need anything, I'm always here for you. Something short and brief. And I actually get a really good response to that because I'm not mentioning anything about fitness. I'm not mentioning anything about my business. I'm just saying, hey, this is who I am and this is what I'm looking for in new Facebook friends. I really want to connect with you, share my life, and help you in any way I can. And I think it's very crucial that you send these messages to your new friends because you need to warm up this cold market. These new friends that you're adding don't know you from Adam. And the only way that they will start to know you is if you connect with them. Also, if you send them a message, the Facebook algorithm will actually show your posts more often in their newsfeed. So not only will they get to see the message that you send them, but they're more likely to see the posts that you're posting in the days after that message because you've had an interaction with them. So it gets them the ability to see who you are. Step 4, follow up with 5 people that you have invited before. And I talked about this last week about finishing the month strong. It's very important to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up, and don't leave people hanging. If you've invited somebody or if you've had somebody in a conversation and it's kind of gone stagnant, don't be afraid to follow up. And in fact, this example of a follow-up message is what I got from a coach on my team named Kristen. She uses this, and I've had really great success with this particular follow-up message. Just somebody who had maybe invited before or somebody who had said that they might be interested but maybe timing wasn't right. So I follow up with those people. You need to track your business, whether you use Teamzy or a spreadsheet or even a pen and paper. You need to know who to follow up with and track that and say, okay, these are people who had been interested last month but timing wasn't right. People who had liked my posts a lot and I invited them. But following up is key. And like I said, this message, go ahead and screenshot it, put it in your own words, but this has worked really well. And I really like this message because it says here, I want to see if you're still interested, or do you want me to take you off my contact list? And like I said in another follow-up message that I shared last week, it gives people an out to say, take me off your contact list. But then some people are like, no, don't take me off the contact list, because then they know that they need to either make a decision or not make a decision. And it will maybe really light a fire under some people if they know that you're like, hey, if you want me to take me off my contact list, I'm good with that. Okay, step 5. This is probably one of the most important things of a power hour. Your job is to invite as a coach. Your job is to invite. In fact, it's one of the vital behaviors. And if you're not inviting people to your challenge group, people to the coach opportunity, you are not doing your job, because our whole point as coaches is to help people. And the only way we can help people is if we're inviting with them. So for me personally, I like to say you haven't earned the right to invite anyone until you've connected with them on another way. So that's why, again, I think it's very vital that you're connecting to your new friends, sending out those hey girl messages. But I have a few examples. These examples actually came from Danielle Natoni of just some examples on inviting to the coach opportunity. One of them is for if you have somebody in your challenge group. Another one is for somebody who may be inspiring you, already doing stuff for health and fitness. But it's very, very, very important that you invite people via a private message. When I'm running, I talked about this last week on our team call. So if you want some more examples on what to invite when you have people in an event, I have that in the other call, and I can give you a script for that too. But when I have people invited to an event and I'm posting in my event, I also do send a quick invite to them. Hey, I invited you to this event. I'd like you to check it out. Would it be something that you're interested in? And I'm telling you, inviting is probably the scariest thing that we have to do in a power hour. Trust me, I'd love to tell you that it gets easier and then that doesn't get scary sometimes, but still sometimes when you send those first invites, it does feel scary and you're really putting yourself out there. But you have to have that belief and that brand loyalty that what we have to offer is worth inviting to. It's worth letting people know about. And so get out of your own head and just do it anyways. I think Carl says to do those donuts, doing those 5 cold invites before you do anything else, which are always the hardest thing to do first. That way then you can do other invites later that make it a little bit easier. But inviting is crucial when you're doing your power hour. Okay, another thing that I like to do when I'm doing my power hour is I like to craft a Facebook or Instagram post. Sometimes it's something that I'm going to post during my power hour, and sometimes I kind of craft something, post something. I use the notes on my phone often to type out something so then I can post it at a different time. But it's important when you're doing your power hour to make a post, maybe to save for later, but first thing is make sure you have a good eye-catching, scroll-stopping picture. Whether it be a picture of you or a quote that you love or something that you're wanting to share. I draw a lot of inspiration out of my personal life, out of the personal development that I'm reading. Maybe it's a workout selfie or whatever you're wanting to share. Just make sure you have a good eye-catching, scroll-stopping picture. And make sure you have a purpose to your post. What are you trying to convey? Are you adding value? Are you sharing your workout? Are you sharing something about personal development? Are you adding value? Are you doing a good coach opportunity post? Make sure you're not just posting to post, but you're posting to add value to your following. And I think it's better to have only one good quality post a day than a bunch of noise that you're just posting to post. So that could take a few minutes. I can't tell you how many times I write out a post, and it'll take me 15-20 minutes to write a good content of a post when I'm really trying to convey something on my heart. So take your time, and it's good to take your power hour to do that so that you can have that information for later. Oh, step 7. I think this is something that some people forget to do every single day, but it's really important. In your power hour, make sure you are checking the Coach Online Office. So log into your back online office. The first thing that I always check is the breaking news. I look to see if there's anything new, any new links that I need to check out, anything that's coming out that I need to read about, any announcements, any changes in any FAQs. I also go and check my current customer orders to see if I had maybe any free customers order or any new customers who were given to me based on the Success Club Lead program. See if any of the people had recurring Shakeology orders. I check the alerts to see if I have any new coaches or customers, so then I can follow up with those people. And I always check my sponsorship drill down so I can see if there's anybody pending and active, or see who's maybe hitting Success Club or maybe close to Success Club. So those are the coaches I can encourage or reach out to depending on what their status is. And then I take that time to actually follow up with any new customers or coaches that may need my attention, especially if you're hitting Success Club and you're getting free Shakeology customers or free leads from, getting just free customer leads. I use that time to then send them an email to connect with them, encourage them to add me as a friend on Facebook. So I try and do that every single day so that people who've joined you, requested, a free coach or gotten you as a free coach, they get contact with you quick. I don't want to wait 30 days and then they're like, well, I was supposed to get a coach and nobody's reached out to me. So it's really important that you try and check that every single day. Okay, step 8, check into your challenge group and do recognition. So make sure you're checking into your challenge group, participate, comment, like, share your Shakeology if you're using the Coach on or the Challenge Tracker app. Share about your workout, share about your Shakeology, and then really connect and comment with the other people that you have in your challenge group. And then it's important to do recognition. So recognize somebody. Shout out a coach in your team page. Shout out a challenger that you have. Send a nice private message to a friend or somebody that you know. Just send some virtual love. Recognition is one of our vital behaviors. So it doesn't always have to be a coach or a challenger, but sometimes it's just recognizing somebody else in your life who's doing something good. Sharing that gratitude with them is just a great way to spread the love. I love that that's actually one of our vital behaviors. Step 9, do a vital behavior check-in. So make sure you have done all 4 of your vital behaviors. And if you have skipped 1 or 2, make sure you take the time in your power hour to finish them. I always say you have no right to invite anybody to anything if you haven't done your workout or drank your own Shakeology for the day. I mean, how am I going to say, hey, you should join my challenge group, or hey, you should drink your shake if I'm not personally doing that myself? And just a quick recap. We should all know this, but the vital behaviors are: 1, be proof the products work. So you should be working out and drinking your shake. 2, you should be doing personal development, whether you're listening to a podcast, reading a book, catching up on national wake-up calls. The third one, invite, or connect. I usually use that interchangeably. And the last one is recognition. And then if you have any more time left in your power hour, do that fun stuff. Do the stuff that's left on your to-do list. Schedule challenge group posts. Schedule your power hour for the next day. Brainstorm stuff for new ideas. And I feel like if you have time left on your power hour and you have nothing else to do and you don't have anything on your to-do list and everything's all done, invite more. You're never going to hurt yourself by inviting people more to anything, challenge groups, anything that you have going on. So, that was a lot of information really fast. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever about anything that I shared, power hour, anything that you do in addition on your own personal power hour that works great for you?
How in the world do you fit all of that into your 1 hour? You are like Superwoman, girlfriend.
No, you gotta go fast. And sometimes you can do what I call sometimes is a power pocket, where you take 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, and do it in effective little pockets. But I think having that list of what you need to accomplish pretty quick. I mean, seriously, sending friend requests, that just takes a couple minutes. A lot of that stuff is pretty fast stuff like this. Connecting to new friends. I have a message that I send to everybody, so it's just copy and paste. It just takes just a couple minutes. Really, timers.
That is literally like the only way I get anything done is a timer. I either do it with just a regular phone timer, or there's the 30/30 app where you can actually set the time limit you want. And so like you could set your timer for 10 minutes on your regular phone, or like I have them labeled in the 30/30 app, and I just write like check online office takes 2 minutes. I go in there, press play, check it real quick. Okay, what's next? Invite takes 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna pull up my invite list and I'm gonna start inviting everybody. And then once it runs out, I gotta move on because I gotta get through the hour. But yeah, the pockets work too. So like half hours sometimes work. You can still do the same thing with the timers with half hours as well.
I think that's really, really smart. I think it's just working faster. I mean, it's really easy to get distracted and have those squirrel moments when you're sending out invites, especially if somebody starts responding to you really, really fast. You can get sucked into having a conversation, or you can get sucked in because you see a coach maybe posted in the team page and you want to go see what this is and this. You have to really work with focus. And Carl, I'll get to you in just a second. When I was at Summit, they were saying it's really important as you make transitions from one thing to the other when you're doing your power hour, take 30 seconds, a minute to take a breath and just focus on what you're going to move on to next. So you're leaving, okay, so you've done your invites. So you're going to take a breath and you're going to move away from your invites and you're going to go and put your brain into something else. Okay, Carl, let me hear, what do you have?
I just had a huge question, because this is my biggest problem with the power hour is how do you unplug during the power hour? Because I get so many interruptions, it seems like I cannot get through everything that I need to do. So what are some things you or others do to unplug so you don't get those distractions so that you can stay focused?
Like, what do you mean distractions, as far as notifications or?
Sometimes it's notifications. Sometimes, I mean, what do you do when you start inviting people and then they start immediately responding? I mean, that happens to me a lot. And then I'm like, I get so consumed with responding that I don't get everything else done. So.
Well, for me, I'll let Courtney answer for her minute. If I'm going to do 10 invites and I invite 2 people and those 2 people start commenting back to me, I don't even open the messages and read the messages until I've done the 10 that I said I was going to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's okay. Like right now, if you looked at my Facebook Messenger inbox, I have many unread messages, and I keep them unread until I'm ready to respond, so that way I know where to go. So when I log into Messenger on my computer, I actually go to the little tab and I say unread messages, and I go to the ones on the very bottom and I start there and work my way up. Because
that's a good discipline. I don't have to. That's the problem. I don't have that discipline. It's like the phone ringing. I mean, you feel like you have to answer it. I've got to get past that.
No, and like
That's how that's
like like Kristen posted the other day, and it's because I used to tell her all the time, you are worth waiting for, because it's very easy to feel like, okay, somebody needs my attention right this second. If I don't respond to them right now, they're probably not going to buy this challenge pack, and I need to see it hit Success Club, and you're all up in your head. But you have to remember, Carl, you are worth waiting for, and you are not a slave to your phone. If you are saying, hey, I'm doing this business so that I can have freedom and provide for my family, but you're a slave to your phone, you're not living. It is okay for you to work just in your business hours. And so like I do my power hour early in the day if everything goes great. And then I check in one more time before I end my day. And does that mean that I open up and read every single message? No, I go through it. I kind of prioritize who I need to respond to. But there's many times I have many messages that are sitting in my inbox at any given time, because I know that I'm worth waiting for, and that somebody waiting 12 hours to hear back from me is not going to be make or break.
okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Courtney, did you have anything else to add before I call on Anastasia?
Yeah, just that whenever you're, two things about the notifications things. One, it's kind of piggybacking on what Ashley said, but as far as your notifications go, if I feel like so I'm a stay-at-home mom, so sometimes I feel like my kids are getting crazy. So if I keep my Facebook news feed available to me, then I'll be in full distraction mode. So sometimes I'll go over from Safari to Chrome and use their Kill Newsfeed app. Or if I'm working on my computer, because my phone will ding all day long, I'll just turn it on silent and I'll flip it over on the desk like this to work. I don't know how you work. Normally I'm on my computer, but if that's how you're doing it, then just turn it on silent and flip it over. And then another thing that I think Ashley did say too was when you're messaging and you say you had the 10 messages, sometimes I'll even go back through like all the way to the bottom of my inbox, because sometimes, people will delete you or unfollow you at some point, but they're still in your inbox. So when I'm scrolling down to follow up with people I haven't messaged in a long time, I'm getting messages in, but like she said, you just kind of have to keep going until you hit that goal. Well, I'm going to follow up with these people because it's been a few months. Keep following up with those people and then go back. But yeah, I have messages that will sit for hours because that's not my work time. But when you do go back, you could say, hey, I'm so sorry that it took me so long to get to you. I normally like to spend my family time during X hours, and I'm just now getting back to you, but thank you for being patient, and then continue with responding to their message.
Yeah, Anastasia, what'd you have to add?
All right, so I'm a realist here. So you message 30 people, you don't respond to them because you're in your power hour. So when do you have time to go back and message all these people back? Is that your response hour?
Well, like I said, I check in at night sometimes for maybe, 10 or 15, 20 minutes. And then, some of my power hour, some of those follow-ups that I'm doing are those messages that are sitting in my inbox. I mean, I know you're being a realist here, but
I just know when I've sent out like 20 messages before and I get like 18 responses, I'm like, I can't even get up from my computer to pee. I've got to message back 100,000 people.
Right. Well, maybe I don't have as good of a response rate because I send out a lot of messages, but I feel like some people wait, or I feel like when I'm sending out 20, 30 messages at a time, there's other people who aren't instantly responding to me as well. So they kind of trickle in. So I try and follow up one time at night before I go to bed, and then again maybe in the morning. I mean, I try and use those power pockets. So like if I'm sitting in the kids' carpool line or I'm doing this, I'll take time to, when I have 5 or 10 minutes, to maybe respond to somebody. But when I'm really focusing on inviting and sending out those kind of messages, I'm literally sitting at my computer super, super, super focused. But there are times, those power pockets, like maybe my kids are in a bath and I'm sitting there, watching them take a bath, I'll take a minute or two to respond to somebody pretty quickly. It's just funny. I know Kelly's really good at doing these power pockets. I think, Kelly, do you do it very similar? You take those, minutes when you're sitting, waiting for kids or doing this or that you focus in. That's when I would use that time to follow up with those messages that are there already in your inbox.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a short one.
Okay, what's that, Courtney?
The Shakeology customers that are given as leads, that's for Success Club 10, right?
Right.
Sure.
Right. And I just want to reiterate, I think Courtney mentioned it. I think it's very important that if you're not trying to be a slave to your phone, it's totally okay to turn the notifications off on your phone and check in when time works for you. Because if you're one of those people that sees all those notifications on Facebook and you're going to get drawn to that and get pulled in, turn those notifications off, because those notifications are going to be there when you're ready and willing to do it. I'm telling you, people can wait. It's very important that you are living this business in a way that works for you, that's healthy, because if you're trying to be everywhere all the time, you will literally burn out. You will burn out from everything if you don't set healthy boundaries for yourself. Especially, and I get it, it's very, very easy, especially if you have a new coach on your team who's ready to run and they have a million questions and you want to answer because you don't want them to fail. But the truth is, sometimes not answering instantly really teaches people to be resourceful, and the same goes for challengers. If challengers are asking you every little thing for every little detail all the time, they're never going to learn to do it on their own. So it's okay for people to wait for you. I'm giving you that permission to let people wait for you, because you are literally worth waiting for. Anybody else have any questions? Are we ready to go? Who's rocked a power hour today?
How do you turn off these notifications?
Well, those are the best ones for you. Those are your priorities right there.
I think to just kind of go off of what you just said about the messages, them waiting, like I noticed, because at the very end of the month, the very last day of the month, I sent in just like a matter of 6 hours, like 120 something invites, because I was pushing for Success Club, and now everybody's like getting back to me now. So the messages are like an influx of messages. But see, when I send, my availability is during the daytime when I'm working, and my nighttime is to spend with my husband after duty. So it's like, but they're all responding to me because their availability is the evening, and I don't respond till the next day when my availability is available. So I'm available to them during the day, they're available to me at night, and it's just how things work. But at the same time, the little red notification number things that says I've got 12 messages, is really, you just have to think about where your availability is, and just it really does work. Every time I say thank you for your patience, it really, they're not even worried about it. So.
People aren't really worried. You have to remember that other people have lives too. And I know that we're really eager because we're running this as a business, and I feel like sometimes we can be a slave to Messenger and a slave to Facebook. But we have to remember that most people are not living their life that way. They're not a slave to their Messenger, and they're not like, oh my gosh, why hasn't Kristen messaged me back? I messaged her 30 minutes ago. They're not thinking like that because they're not on Messenger all day like we are. So literally, guys, if you take anything away from this call tonight, remember you are worth waiting for. Okay, any other questions before we go off? We only have just a couple more minutes left. If you do need help or have stuff, you're looking for stuff to send people or scripts to say, I always say you have to find your own voice, but it's always good to have a starting point. If you need help with any of that, feel free to send me a private message or kind of share amongst yourselves. Because like I said, the follow-up message I used, Kristen shared with me. It's worked really well, but sometimes you just really have to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks, because what might work for you might not work for this person. So you just have to find that own voice that works for your market. So just keep doing little bits every day. Okay, friends?
I did share that invite on the last team calls post thread in the team page. I commented and shared that invite over there.
Perfect.
So.
Perfect. Thank you, Courtney. Okay, friends, well, I'm going to go. If you have any questions, just let me know, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, friends.